What is good, everybody? Welcome back to Real Fan Sports. I'm in the build with Nonfiction. What's good with you, Non?
Nothing much, man. Just chilling out. How about yourself?
Uh, you know, Getting ready for Week 12 of the NFL. We got a lot of Thursday games. We got a Friday game as well. It's the holiday season. So what do? They help us make hanging out with family we only see twice a year enjoyable. By throwing in a whole bunch of football. So we're gonna start things off with the traditional Lions game, where the Lions will take on the Packers. And what a different year it is! The Lions are 8-2, Packers are 4-6. Packers coming off of a good win. I mean, his best performance so far by Jordan Love. And then the Lions almost losing to the Chicago Bears, another divisional rival, but we're able to come up on top. Who do you have in this one?
Honestly, after seeing bits and pieces of the game and also checking out Carlos when he did his live stream of all over the Sunday night games, the Detroit Lions looked like they were trying to give the game away.
Mm.
Jared Goff tried his best to hand wrap this gift for the Bears in last Sunday's game. And like you said, Love did have one of his better games. I assume Jared Goff and them will win this game. But it's one of those things where it's a traditional thing that them on Thanksgiving, unless there's Barry Sanders rocking that jersey, I kind of want to go with Green Bay. I kind of want to go with Green Bay, just for traditional purposes. But I feel like Lions should win because they need to build it. They need to start getting on the roll to build themselves toward the playoffs if that's what they really want to do and try to get to the big game eventually.
Mm.
But I do believe the Detroit Lions will win. I just have a weird feeling that the Packers are going to pull it out in
Packers.
the last seconds. Yeah,
Oh. Well, I know this much, and that's Lions are 8-2. It's the first time they've been 8-2 in a
yeah,
very, very long time. I forgot the year right on top of my head. And at the beginning of the season, even though I knew the Packers were going to be much like this, I didn't think it was going to be this bad. I thought Jordan Love would have kind of figured himself out. I thought offensively they would have figured themselves out. I mean, defensively, the Packers are top 10 defense in the league right now. They're playing well. Offense has just struggled. Christian Watson, I think, got his first touchdown of the season, which has just been a absolute disappointment for him and all the Green Bay fans. But the Lions are the better team. This should be a walk in the park. They need to go and make it a walk in the park on a big day and just set themselves in the position to be a team to be feared, because they're still looked at as underdogs. They still have this
yeah.
underdog look to them where people don't want to give them that respect yet because they're a long tradition of just not doing much. I got the Lions. I would like to see the Packers win just because I want my prediction at the beginning of the season to be right, but I think the Lions are all over this one.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you.
Next up, that'll bring us the Washington Commanders versus the Dallas Cowboys. Man, Cowboys love putting it on bad teams. We saw it this past weekend. I think we'll see it again against the Commanders, who they lost to the Giants. Like,
Yeah,
yikes,
they lost to DeVito. They
yikes,
lost to DeVito Giants. Kind
yikes.
of crazy.
I mean, this
Um,
line is set at 11, and favored by Dallas, and I think Dallas wins by way more than that. I don't even think this is going to be a fun game to watch. I think I'm hoping I'm in commute as this game is going on, because I think Cowboys run away with it.
So I believe in the beginning of the game, it's gonna be we're gonna have that traditional feeling, old school Cowboys versus old school Washington. I know Commanders now, but they used to call the Redskins. And it's gonna have a weird feeling about it because they used to play on Thanksgiving too,
Hmm.
quite long ago. And it's gonna start out where Washington's probably gonna they're gonna look good in the beginning, but at the very end, the third, fourth quarter, Dallas is going to blow the windows off in this game.
Right,
And they're
right.
gonna have some crazy, like CeeDee Lamb's gonna have some kind of crazy game. Pollard's gonna actually look like a true number one running back again. Prescott is gonna just step into the pocket and just feel himself a little bit. But I definitely think Cowboys win it. You know what I'm saying? No jokes aside, I think Cowboys win there, but they're a better team all around. And the
Hmm.
defense will show up and probably have another pick six again. So
Yeah, let it be that. Uh, Finally, our last game on Thursday night on Thanksgiving, we're going to have the San Francisco 49ers, who are back on the win streak, facing the Seahawks, who just lost another one to the Rams. And I've seen a couple
yeah,
people predict it, man, that they were going to go ahead and take them out, and they surely did. Seahawks are struggling. Drew Lock had to come in. I'm not sure what the word is on Geno. I believe he's expected to play. But they're having some weird things going on in Seattle. It's definitely not where I expected them to be this season. I thought this would be a good game, but I feel like Brock Purdy has played amazing after their bye week. He has been phenomenal, both fantasy and just in game, regardless.
Mm-hmm.
McCaffrey got back in the end zone. We knew that that was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
49ers are going to win this one, but I feel like it will be a little bit closer since it is in Lumen Field in Seattle. Hopefully, they bring the noise on a big primetime game.
You know, I if this was earlier in the season when Seattle was playing a little bit different, it felt like they were playing more with more confidence. I'd probably say it's going to be closer, but I don't think this will be closer. I think this is it's not going to be like a crazy blowout, but it just won't be close. I do believe San Francisco is going to win. They're on a roll. They took a 3 week bye, but they're back now, and now they're back. Even though they have some very significant injuries right now,
Mm-hmm.
Hufanga, Ray McLeod, Gene Charles, Hargrave, like there's some questionables right now, but I still think they have enough to on the offensive side of the ball to defeat the Seahawks. Seahawks definitely have some injuries too. Metcalf still questionable. He's been questionable for the last 5 weeks before every game. I don't know what his full injury is, but he's been questionable every game. Geno Smith, we know that. Supposedly he's supposed to be back. He's supposed to be back for the game on Thursday, which I'm thinking that might not be the best decision for his overall
That's what I'm
health
thinking
for the
too.
entire rest of the
Because,
season.
man, they make it the playoffs. They're going to need him. You don't want to throw
Yeah,
Drew Lock out there.
and then Kenneth Walker, he went out as well. So they have him as questionable, but I thought his injury was more significant from what I remember seeing. But I mean, I still think the 49ers will pull out the W regardless.
Thanks. Then we'll have on Friday kind of an interesting one, man. We got one on Prime Video. This is going to be Dolphins versus Jets. Jets defensively have been doing what they do. Offensively, they had moments, and then last week we saw Zach Wilson finally get pulled, and Boyd is now back there as the starting quarterback for the Jets. Is there a chance in hell that the Dolphins lose this one? I know we talked about it a little bit earlier, and you said it would be funny if the Jets kind of pull one out.
I think it would be, especially for a team that started the season hitting a team, the Denver Broncos, for 70, and as we've seen them progress throughout the weeks, they've had some great games. They've had some not so great games. And last week against the Raiders was a very, very close game that they actually could have lost on multiple
Mm-hmm.
occasions. Raiders couldn't put together a full scheme on the offense to actually to defeat them. Now, this one, if the Jets were to pull it out, it would be all defense. The
Yeah,
defense who
without a doubt.
has been very frustrating with the offside of the ball. You can see it if you watch the game. You can see it in their faces, and it's understandable when you have Zach Wilson, who is not a bum. He's just not ready for the light right now. He needs more time. He needs the right kind of people around him to build confidence in his game. Because there's moments he looks really good. Then there's moments he looks really damn bad.
Yeah,
Um,
and a bad offensive line that the Jets have doesn't help that
yes,
situation
yes,
at all either. And like,
yeah.
and I'm more on the side of like I don't really like Zach Wilson. I don't think he's a great NFL quarterback. But on the other side of things, it's like you never know because man, he can't have a 3-step drop back without getting pressured instantly, So
Oh yeah,
really
instantly.
it's a
Yeah.
really hard thing for him, and it's gonna continue to be a hard thing regardless of who's back there. I mean, I'd even say it'll be the same thing if Rodgers decides to come back. I mean, I don't understand why Rodgers is in such a rush to come back with how this offensive line has looked over the last going on 12 weeks. I
Yeah.
got Dolphins all the way. But I'm with you, and you said it last time, and the Jets actually ended up beating, I think it was the Bills. You were saying how
Bills,
funny it
yeah.
would be if they would beat them, and then they did. So it's like, I feel like you just got some type of connection, bro. You got the script in your hand. I think you do.
Hey, I mean, it's gonna be 47 degrees in East Rutherford. So East Rutherford ain't no joke when that wind kicks in. So it ain't Miami. It ain't Florida.
Yeah, you're right
I
about
don't know.
that.
We'll see.
We'll see. That'll bring us into Sunday, where we're going to have my New Orleans Saints versus the Atlanta Falcons. Such a fun rivalry, even though both teams are trash. I'll just put it like that. I mean, I think the Falcons had shown a lot of good things. I think a lot of their problems comes from coaching. And I think the exact same with the Saints. I think we're both in a coaching hole of just not knowing how to operate the offense in the right way. I actually saw a statistic the other day that Pete Carmichael is ranked the worst in not just successful plays, but also not using just simple plays Like, he doesn't even use a simple playbook. He does all these like weird, complex things, and none of them work.
Hmm.
So it's like you're
Yeah.
overcomplicating things just to not be successful. It blows my mind that he hasn't gotten fired yet, and especially with the offensive coordinator trend of being let go is occurring right now. We've had it in
Yeah.
back-to-back weeks. The Buffalo Bills and then the Steelers firing their offense coordinator. In this game, I mean, I'm going to go with the Saints. It's against Atlanta. I mean, I don't like them dirty birds. I'm trying to have me some Falcon gumbo for Thanksgiving weekend, and that's just how it's going to be. Let's go Saints. Who that?
You want some Falcon etouffee?
Hey, I'm telling you.
I do believe the Saints should win this game. I know I've said that multiple times. It's backfired against me, but it's not.
So
It's
many
not my
times.
fault. It's not my fault. Sometimes the defense just wasn't there. They didn't show up to the game. But I kind of agree with everything you said. Both teams do have their issues when it comes to play calling or this coaching situations. But I do feel like I think the most stable team is still the Saints compared to the Falcons, especially when you look at Robinson and his issues with the coach, which we still don't necessarily know what's going on. I think it goes deeper than just the NFL when it comes to him and the offensive play calling coaching. There's some personal stuff going on there,
For sure.
but I do feel like with Olave and Kamara still the top sources of offense for the Saints, Derek Carr should have some good targets, and they should have a good game. But it should be in Saints' favor. And I think with Thomas is now officially on the IR, which was announced today, so
And
that's
then Marshawn Lattimore will also be out. So we're gonna have to have Alante Taylor and Adebo who's having a really great season so far to continue that because he'll be facing their top wide receivers.
But yeah, I think the Saints will pull it out. To be honest with you,
I hope so, man. I need something to smile about on Sunday.
I feel you. I feel you.
Next up, man, this is a interesting one. We're gonna have the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Cincinnati Bengals. Little divisional game. Bengals now without Joe Burrow. Steelers, like we said, getting rid of their offensive coordinator, trying to spark things up a little bit and get Pickett going. I mean, I talked with my friends about this, and I said, that's good that they went ahead and got rid of the OC. I don't think he was any good, but, I mean, they still got Pickett back there throwing the ball, and that's going to be the downfall of it. But Bengals now without their, star quarterback, what do we expect to happen? This is one where I'm going instant. Bengals shutting it down real quick. At this point, I don't know.
Yeah, normally you would instantly go Bengals. And to what you're saying about them getting rid of OC, I do think there was some issues with the OC, but at the same time, I think the quarterback in question is not ready for that position. Like you have two decent college quarterbacks that came into the league, and they're looking like two decent professional quarterbacks. Now, as to be the star of that team, I think neither one of them are the choice and the option, and they're going to be the reason why this team probably will be either right at 500 or right below 500, to be honest with you. And and with the Bengals, Jake Browning, who from Washington University, I was like, I don't really know much about the kid, besides the fact that where he comes from and that now he's the official starter for the Bengals. I still want to say Bengals will get the W because of all the talent they have around him, but I just don't know. I have to see him play a full game. So for me, I'm gonna go with the Steelers. I think the Steelers defense was going to give Browning some issues. They're going to give some issues, especially that front seven.
Yeah, my gut says Steelers too. My gut says Steelers, but my heart says Bengals. And we watched Browning play the other night, and there were some things that he did do good, especially with not working with the ones at all. We could tell that he didn't work with Jamar Chase and Boyd at all because he didn't target them. Now getting a full weeks of practice and actually an extended week, after playing on Thursday, trying to build some type of connection with these star-studded receivers that they do have in Cincinnati. But there was a lot of moments that he did look good. Like, they designed it right for bringing in a quarterback that isn't expecting to play. A lot of timing routes weren't forcing him to hold on to the ball, weren't forcing him to go out and do something crazy. They just wanted him to go out and do the right thing. If they coach it that way, then they have a chance of winning. If they try and put the pressure on him to have to, throw several deep balls and scramble and move and all this stuff like they expect Burrow, then there's no chance in hell. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
so
go Bengals,
yeah,
but I feel like Steelers will win it, but my heart says Bengals, so I'm gonna rock with it.
I expect if you have Mixon in your fantasy, play Mixon.
Yeah. That sounds
He's going
about
to get
right.
the ball.
Next up is the Carolina Panthers, 1-9 versus the 3-7 Titans at Nissan Stadium in Nashville, Tennessee. Tennessee's favored by 3.5 points. Uh, and there's just a lot of stuff going on in both of these franchises. I mean,
Hmm.
Panthers grab Bryce Young. It's hard to get an actual judgment on how well that he's done. I saw an interesting statistic is that he has thrown the highest percentage of catchable balls this season, but
Really?
he's also thrown into the most covered receivers in doing that. So
Interesting.
it's a very interesting take. It's like, he is putting the ball in good spots, but most of the time the players are being heavily covered. And then with the Titans, it's like they just feel like they're lost at this point. I know there's a lot of chaos kind of going up around Titans Nation where people are asking for the head of Vrabel, the head coach, the GM. And then them arguing between the two of like, no, he needs to stay, no, he doesn't, yada yada yada. So there's just a lot surrounding this, and this being an ugly game is one where the Titans really need to go out and win it. The Panthers, you let it
Yeah.
slide. Rookie quarterback, you lost a lot. You really don't have a true number one wide receiver. I know
Hmm.
Thielen's been balling, doing his thing as best he can, but he's older, and really has never been the number one besides a handful of years with Vikings, but he's always had someone
Yeah.
above him. I'm gonna go Titans in this one, but I low key kind of want the Panthers to win just because I like watching the chaos just take over.
I do like chaos, and I do, that both teams do have their own issues. I think I know we talked about Vrabel and how we do like him, but I do have an issue with him because for so long he's been pushing Tannehill as a starter, knowing that Tannehill was not the starter, shouldn't be the starter of this team, and he's been going on for far too long. Will Levis probably should have started the season out, just to be honest. Tannehill shouldn't have been there. I mean, he should be, if anything, he should be helping coaching this young man up to be the future of this team, this franchise. And I think because of that, that might be this reason why if Vrabel gets fired, is probably because of that issue right there. He took way too long to get this kid prepared for this team. But I do feel that the Titans have what it takes with Henry as well. Hopkins looking really good the last couple of weeks
Oh yeah,
to win it out. You know what I'm saying? And I like Bryce Young. I have no issues against him. I just think that he doesn't have a lot of help around him. He doesn't have a lot of help. Even with Hubbard's he's
yeah. Hubbard
serviceable,
and
but
Miles
he's
Sanders, both of them have been
yeah,
not great, not great in the run
yeah,
game.
they're serviceable as like maybe your second and third tier, but they're not number ones. It's just not
Hmm.
Alatino. He's not number one. He's playing with a bunch of twos and threes. So if you get him quality talent around him, who knows what the ceiling of that team can really be? But right now, they're playing where their talented level is. They're mid. They're mid. That's where it is. But
Yeah.
Titans will pull out the W.
Yeah. And I mean, just to remark on the Titans situation one more time, it's, we talked about it in our podcast that we do every Sunday morning with Dolph 17, Carlos, and Coach Rock on the As the NFL Turns Sports podcast. Make sure y'all check it out. But I said, imagine if they would have realized Tannehill wasn't it as soon as that playoff game happened where he threw three horrible interceptions that cost them
Yeah,
not a first round exit because they had the bye, but their first game exit. If they would have moved
yeah,
on from there, where'd they be at now? It'd be a lot different. It would be a lot
they
different,
probably
and
would be.
that's
Yeah,
why I mean I don't know the ins and outs for Titans fans, so I can't speak for them. But from the outside view, I feel like both of their jobs should be in question, both head coach and
exactly. I agree.
GM. That'll
I
bring
agree.
us up to probably a fun one, man. Buccaneers and Colts. Buccaneers have been doing pretty well with Baker Mayfield. He's got almost 2,400 yards, 15 touchdowns, just 6 interceptions, playing very well this year versus the Colts who dealt with the injuries early on with Anthony Richardson, Minshew back there. They're on the brink of playoffs, fighting for that wild card spot with the
Hmm.
Raiders as well. Who do you got in this one?
Hmm. This one, I think, like you said, I think it's going to be an interesting matchup. Baker Mayfield and crew, they ran into a juggernaut last week, a team that was trying to re-improve themselves, but also prove themselves in the NFL, the 49ers, and it just wasn't nice for them. And Gardner Minshew, I like Gardner Minshew. I know he's not like the best quarterback out there, but
Yeah.
it's just something about them that I just really, really like. I think because he reminds me of the old school quarterback. He doesn't quit. He has
Hmm.
a short memory and he can sling that rock. You know what I'm saying? But for this game, I think it'll probably be a little close until the very end, and I think the Colts may pull this out to get a little closer in that playoff hunt.
Uh, man, looking at this game, I really think Buccaneers can win this one. I think the Buccaneers
Hmm.
have the better team. I mean, Colts getting their dual running back with Zach Moss as well as JT has been great. It's definitely made them a lot better, taking some pressure off of Minshew. But Rashad White has been playing excellent with the Buccaneers, even against
Yeah,
strong defensive teams, except for against the Niners where he had a really tough one. But other than that, he's been playing really good, and I'd like to see that continued success. But I'm rooting for the Colts all the way, and I'm going to predict the Colts to win because I don't want the Bucs to win and then close in on that gap and have things be really interesting for my New Orleans Saints. Even though I don't think we
yeah.
do anything in the playoffs, it's like I just want to make it. Like I'm never going to be on the side of things of like, oh, I hope we lose. That way we actually fire people. It's like
Oh
I'm
yeah,
never. Yeah,
yeah.
it's like just win. We still should fire him, and like someone needs to make the grown up decision to get rid of somebody and realize that this is the product you're wanting to put out. But that doesn't mean that we should just hope we lose. Like that sounds stupid to me.
Yeah,
Uh,
definitely.
Next up will be the New England Patriots versus the New York Giants. Man, another kind of stinker. I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna go ahead and say Giants, dude. Why not?
Yeah, I'm going DeVito. I like him in all his movies. I'm going with DeVito.
Uh,
DeVito to the moon and back. Let's get it.
I'm gonna keep it simple, bro. I mean, look, and Mac Jones going down to the third string now. People aren't trusting in him, aren't believing in him. Chaos,
Hmm.
chaos in the Patriots. That said, I wanted at the beginning of the season. What else did I say? I said Jones was a bum. I'm standing by it. It's being proven true. Next up, we got Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Houston Texans. This game is probably the
This
best
should be
game
a
of
good
this
one.
week
This should be a
because
good one.
this is crazy implications on playoffs. I think the Texans
Mhm.
make the playoffs regardless. I think their team is stacked up enough. Defensively is where they're having some troubles, but they're going up against the Jags and have a chance to tie things up in the division and possibly not just make the playoffs, but win the division too. Bro,
I know.
give me the Texans. Give me the Texans. Give me
Going
CJ
Texans.
Stroud. CJ Stroud for MVP. I don't care he's a rookie. No other quarterback this season has impressed me enough to be like he definitely deserves it. They have Jalen Hurts as the lead front runner for MVP right now, and he's done nothing special. I don't like it. Give me the Texans and CJ Stroud.
I like CJ Stroud. I like him a lot. I'm glad to see him have the success that he's had. I'm very happy for him. I do I like Trevor Lawrence. We talked about it. I've liked Trevor
Mm-hmm.
Lawrence since he was in college, and I thought I knew I didn't think like everybody thought. Oh, he's the perfect quarterback. I didn't think that. I just knew that he would be successful. Because to say you're the perfect, no one knows that. So whoever said that in their little information,
Yeah.
trying to like break him down, put your shoe in your mouth. Like you don't know nothing. You have no idea. You can't predict the world like that. But
Thank you.
I will say this: I like both teams. Honestly, I like how they're becoming they're who they're supposed to be. I like what they're doing. I like what both organizations are doing, coaching all the way down to the special teams. I like what they're doing. I hope this game really comes down to the wire and it's a partial shootout. I really want this game to be a crazy good game, the best game of the
Same.
week. So but I'm gonna go against you because I want to see Trevor Lawrence. Them they still number 3 in the division. I want to see him keep it rolling and make a true playoff run. This is the time they missed out in the middle part of the season where they should have had a couple wins back to back to show who they are and put a
Mm-hmm.
stamp on the division. They have to do it now against this team. This is a quality team. This is a quality team. So you beat this team, you beat a really good team.
I like it. Next up, we got Browns and Broncos. Broncos on a quiet win streak, man. Look at them
Mm-hmm.
boys doing something. And then Broncos sitting at 7-3. They got the backup quarterback in now, also signing Joe Flacco. I wonder if we'll see him start. I would feel like not, but I mean, who
I hope
knows?
not.
Yeah, I hope
I
not.
hope
Um, but what do you think about this game, man? Do you got Broncos or Browns?
I hope we don't see Joe Flacco. The young kid wins his first game, and it's an emotional one. After the game, he's walking off the stadium, his off the field, and his friends are, you know, giving him love, and he's crying. I'm like, that's how your first win should be. You know what I'm saying? Like that's
Mm-hmm.
how it should be. Like you really should feel it, and
Should
people
feel
who
it.
watch
Yeah.
it should feel it too. Broncos are playing really good. They're playing some really good ball. The offense is finally coming together. I don't know what happened, what took so long to get to this point. I don't know what was the disconnect because it's not like the play calling has really changed. It's very similar to what they started at the beginning, but the defense has stepped up big time in some plays too. And I'm just not sure as far as I know the Browns they played well last week. I'm just not sure how they're going to play this week. I know he has more time to practice with the team, so that's actually a good thing. I think I'm gonna go with the Broncos. I think the Broncos are gonna probably win this one too.
Yeah, I think I got my bets on the Broncos as well. But I mean, my biggest thing with the Broncos is that even though they have fixed some of their stuff, their offensive still has not looked great. I don't think there's been a single
Mm-hmm.
game where I'm like, oh, that's a full game of offense. Y'all look really good. Defense has kind of kept them in it, and then they've been able to take advantage
Oh
of
yeah,
certain
it's very wishy
opportunities.
washy with them.
And I feel like they're gonna have an even harder time against this Browns defense. But I'm gonna go ahead and rock with the Broncos too. I'm gonna stick with you. They're playing at home. I'll give them the dub. We'll see. That
Yeah,
was gonna be an interesting one. That's a hard one. I
I
wouldn't put
agree.
any money on. Next up, we have the Rams versus the Cardinals. I don't even understand what the Cardinals situation is. Are they losing on purpose? Are they trying to win? Do they not want to win? Who's going to be their quarterback next year, this year? Like I don't know what's going on, and I don't really want to talk about it any further because it just annoys me. It's poor representation, man. People pay money to go and watch your games and come see you, and then y'all just I don't know. I just think it's silly. I'm going Rams.
Yeah, I don't know either. Because they push back his development to come get into the season. They start players that we thought weren't going to be anything. Then Dobbs turned out to be something, kind of be a little magical. Starts playing well. Gets a dub against the
Cowboys.
Cowboys, and of course they take a slide after that, which is what we expected because the level of
The
this
whole
team
team's
isn't
just
where it
bad.
should be.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole team as a whole. Like Brown, I feel bad for you wanting to go there and then going there, and this is what you have. You should be trying to get up out of there. Connor should be trying to get up out of there. Y'all go somewhere else. Even if
Yeah.
you're Connor, if you're second string or somewhere else, it'd be better to go to a team that's just has a better foundation.
Well, it just has
Um,
a mentality of winning. Like, who
yeah, I
wants to
don't know what's
go
going on there.
walk into the doors of work every day and just think, can't wait to go out there and lose? Like that's how it feels. Like, I wouldn't want to show up to practice. Like, I know they're getting paid heavily to lose. I understand all that. It's not about that. It's about the passion for the game. Players that
Yeah,
care and that put out this great effort and put out this great talent onto the field. They do that because they love the game. It's not just because they're good at it.
oh
They
yeah,
love it and they put effort into it. And then to be a part of an organization just obviously doesn't care and that obviously wants to lose. Like, I couldn't be me, man. Couldn't be me. I couldn't
yeah.
do it.
It's honestly sad. It's really sad to see you know players who are actually talented waste their time. I know they're getting paid, but when you actually emotionally love something, money don't really replace that feeling. It just doesn't.
Right.
So I'm gonna go with you. I'm gonna go with the Rams. Puka Nakua, he's gonna have a big game against them. But
I hope
I'm gonna go
so.
with the
I
Rams,
got him in
man.
fantasy, so I hope. We got a little rivalry game, man. It's the week of division games, ain't it? Next up,
hmm
we're gonna have the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Las Vegas Raiders. Chiefs coming off
hmm
of a upsetting loss against the Eagles. A lot of passes we saw with MVS. As well as Justin Watson. Felt like there was a disconnect on certain things. I mean, the weather was, ugly, so that paid a part. Raiders are sitting at 5-6, still fighting for a playoff spot, even though they had a tough loss, which in a winnable game versus the Dolphins. Do you
Yeah,
think the Raiders can do anything and make this one interesting against the Chiefs?
if this was earlier in the season, I'd probably, if you still had the same organization, I'd probably say no, no. I'm going to watch the game, but no. But after playing Miami the way they played Miami, and seeing how much Kansas City has actually been struggling with their receivers, and I honestly feel like when I watched that game on Monday night, I feel like Kelsey is really more hurt than what people think he is.
Yeah. He
Because
feels distant, and like it's not because he's like, and I don't even want to know how many people are gonna be like, oh, it's because other people are seeing this too, I'm sure, and they're
yeah,
probably first thing is like, oh, because of who he's dating, and it's like, no, like
yeah,
it's been like
yeah,
this all season. Like, he just feels like those injuries are finally weighing on him. Like, he's feeling
yeah.
every ache and pain. He's been interviewed and has talked about how he has recently been thinking more and more about retirement
I
each
haven't.
day just
Yeah,
because of how he wakes up every morning, all the pain that he goes through, and then especially the success that he's having outside of football as well. Like, of course, everybody loves the sport. If you play for this long, you don't want to leave it. But It feels like it's just getting tough for him.
I mean, what he's been around since 2013.
Yeah.
So when you look at that, the man has a great career. He has championships. He's built plenty of friendships. He's
Hmm.
done what any football player who goes into the league what they want to do. He's done it all. And
Yeah.
now if this whole thing with Taylor Swift works out, I know this last time I say that's good for him. Hey, you came out and you also came out with a future wife, possibly. You know what I'm
Yeah. Hey.
saying? So hey, be happy. But there was points in the game where we were watching and doing, we do a live stream every Monday and Thursday, except this Thursday. But we were watching, and when he was getting hit, when they were showing the replays, he was grimacing more than just like like taking the hit. After
Yeah.
the play, he was grimacing. He was limping before the game. He was limping during the game. He was limping after the game, and you just see it. You kind of see the age on him. You start to kind of
Yeah.
see a little bit. And as a Raiders fan, I want to, you want to hate that person or dislike that person, but as a person, just a human, I don't want him to end his career, because going too far,
Yeah.
pushing yourself too
Push up
far.
too far.
You,
Yeah.
you get to a point where you got to understand this might not be your game anymore. It might not be your thing anymore.
Mm.
And but regardless of that, I was just saying it because I think we
Yeah.
really need
I'm
to
with you.
think about
I'm
the
with you.
whole it's time. You know what I'm saying? But regardless of that, I think the Raiders do have a chance after watching them play and seeing how KC has actually struggled quite a bit in the last couple of games. Their
Mhm.
biggest brightest spot is Pacheco. Pacheco is a
Oh
demon
yeah.
in the run
That
game.
dude's a
I
dog.
like him a lot. And the new bright spot is Mr. Was it Justin Watson? He looked pretty good.
Yeah,
There
he had
seems to
he
be a
had really
good
good he had really good routes. Dropped some balls. I mean,
yeah.
that's something, but like he was open a lot of times. Like a lot
Yeah, he was open a
y'all don't
lot.
realize how hard it is to get open. I mean, like he needs to
Yeah.
catch the dang ball, but getting open is hard, you know?
And it does suck because I mean some of those balls I want to say might be because of the rain. It was raining, so I will go with that. But there are a couple of them that he caught
Yeah,
in
we
some
gotta
great catches over the shoulders. He runs great routes. I think it's going to be a good game finally after so many years. Finally having a good game against him, but I believe Chiefs will win. I do believe that. But in my heart as a Raider, I would say Raiders win. But I think the Chiefs will win.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna root for the Raiders. Just, I mean, because you root for the Raiders. That's kind of how it's gonna go. But
Yeah,
I think the Chiefs win this
yeah,
one. I don't see them losing back-to-back games. I mean,
yeah. Back to back.
it's
That's yeah.
yeah, that's the biggest thing. If they would have like snuck the one out against the Eagles, I say the Raiders have a high chance. But it's hard for me to predict the Chiefs losing two straight. Um, that'll bring us up to our last 3 o'clock game between the Bills and the Eagles. The Eagles got it rough back to back, and the Bills got it rough all the way through the end of the year as they're trying to figure it all out. Josh Allen said after the last game against the Jets, where they blew him out, said, "I'm back, baby." I think you're jumping ahead of yourself, Josh, but I'm glad that
Yeah.
you have your confidence back because you definitely have missed it, along with your talent. No offense. Love Josh Allen. That's not a hate comment. It's just reality.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
and then the Eagles, I mean, they kind of got lucky in one too. They didn't play well. There was a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
Jalen Hurts looked very uncomfortable. As soon as he got sacked 5 times that first half, you could just tell he was scared. The coaching were coaching scared.
Yeah.
And if I'm the Bills, I'm looking at that as a recipe to success against this team. Blitz often and early as much as you can. Get pressure, make Jalen Hurts feel uncomfortable, trap him into that little bubble that he wants to escape from. Don't let him out. Bring him down a couple times, force him to make an error, and then watch how his nerves take over because we saw that. In this game, I mean, I don't know. I really don't know.
Yeah.
I guess I'm going
Yeah.
to say Eagles, but I really don't know. I really don't know.
Yeah, in this situation, the record for the Eagles doesn't like kind of depict anything because, like you said, the last game they played very shaky. The play call in the last quarter and a half, there was a lot more screens that should have been called. They were it was too simplified. And then when they actually started to throw the ball or make a better type of game plan, then all of a sudden the game just opened up. And it's like, where was that at the first half of the game?
Mm.
I know it was raining, but you still got to take your shots. You got to take your shots. And with Josh Allen, man, you used to be the man, homie. Like, what happened to you? Seriously, like you
Facts.
got 12 interceptions. You're leading the league. Like you lead the league, you get an interception every game.
Yeah.
In some games, two. I think he has 2 games with 0 interceptions, and
That's
that's
crazy.
not good.
No.
And that's one of those things where I feel like the Eagles' defense may be the strong point in this game
Hmm.
to make
Yeah.
Allen play out of his self.
Yeah.
I think the Eagles should win, and I'm not even saying easy. I just think they should win because Allen's been playing bad.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest difference between this game and then last week versus the Chiefs for the Eagles is that the Chiefs' defense is actually really good. They also had bad weather conditions,
Very true.
and
Very
I
true.
don't think the Bills' defense is built like that anymore. I think they're struggling right now. And AJ Brown only had 1 catch off of I think like 4 targets. That's not going to happen again. AJ Brown's going to
No.
get like 15 targets, 12 catches. He's going to get like 175 yards. It's going to be something insane, probably 2 touchdowns, and
Yeah, I say
they're
he
going
had
to
two
play
touchdowns.
good. And that's how I feel like it's going to be. Um,
Yeah.
so lastly, I gotta adjust this. That's weird. I normally don't have to do that for this one.
Excuse me.
All right, Sunday night we're gonna have the Baltimore Ravens versus the Los Angeles Chargers. You know what? I'm tired of talking about the Chargers. I'm tired of them blowing leads. I'm tired of them making their job hard when they should be easily winning these games. Ravens and just Chargers fire everybody. I don't care.
Man. And I agree. I'm starting to really get to the point where I'm tired of talking about how talented this team is and how bad they
Exhausted.
play. They're just I don't know. I don't know. I'm just gonna say Ravens. I'm yeah, I'm with you. Time to talk about it. Ravens.
Yep. The only thing I will say I disagree with is I disagree with the idea that Justin Herbert is the one to be fully in blame of all this. I do
Oh
think
no.
he
No.
plays a part in the equation,
Hmm.
because it's your job as a quarterback to go and finish out games and win them. But I mean, when you have players dropping passes and just poor play calling like he's been getting all year,
Game
I
winning touchdowns being dropped with nobody
yeah,
around you.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
So
think
that'll
there was
bring
three
us
drop
up.
touchdowns in that game.
So that'll bring us up to our last game. And this game we will be live for. We possibly will be live for something on Thursday on Thanksgiving if y'all want to tune in. It's just up in the air just because it's holiday season, all that good stuff. But we will be here on Monday night for the Bears versus the Vikings. The Bears kept it close against the Lions last week. Justin Fields is back. He's been looking good. Vikings taking upsetting loss right at the end. It was actually a really,
Hmm.
really good game in their matchup. Who do you got in this one?
It sucks because after the Vikings game, which I know I picked them to win in our Sunday joint, but there was one single play that actually would have changed the entire ending of that game. The hit on Dobbs that now the guy is being suspended 4 games for.
Yeah.
He's done it the last, was it 4 games, 5 games
Yeah, he
of
did
like
it.
very bad
He
high
did
hits.
it. He did it 2 games ago. Got suspended.
Yeah,
2 game suspension. Comes back. Does it again. Now suspended 4 games and fined heavily.
yeah. And so even during that game, the announcers were like, that should have been a personal foul. Then the Vikings should have had the ball with another 15 yards, and they probably would have scored the game winning touchdown. But regardless of that, I do agree with you that Fields has been looking better, and if they call the right play calls for him, it works out really well for them. Moore looks good. I'm gonna still go with Vikings. I'm gonna still go with Vikings though.
I'm gonna go opposite, bro. I'm gonna go ahead and give it to the Bears, man. I think
Mhm.
I think the Vikings have played better. I think without Justin Jefferson, it seems like again he won't be coming back. He's really prioritizing his health, which is good for him. And I
Good.
also think
Yeah.
he's just not sold on the quarterback situation and just the situation around all the Vikings right now to rush himself back. But young kid, don't let them bully you into playing too early. Play when you're ready. I'm with him on that. But
Mhm.
I like what Justin Fields did last week. He played up against a team in the Lions who I think are much better than the Vikings and played them through and through. Choked up a little bit at the end. Their defense couldn't hold on, allowed the Lions to have a come from behind victory. But I feel like the Bears can win this one, man. I'm going to give this one to Justin Fields. I hope it's a
I
fun
feel you. I
game.
feel you.
I
Okay,
hope it's
yeah,
fun. I don't hope it's good. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
yeah.
Like I don't want the game to be good. I just want it to be fun. Like I want to see like a crazy scramble by Dobbs or a crazy scramble by Fields, like just all kind of good stuff. So we'll see how all
Yeah.
that pans out. But we'll be live for that. That is our predictions. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Let us know in the comments what you think we got wrong, what you think we got right. And you know what? Let us know who is your MVP for the season so far. Who do you got? Let us.
Do you have an MVP of season so far?
Um, I told you, man. Give me CJ Stroud. I like it. I'm telling you, I don't see
Well,
anyone that's out there that I'm more hyped about watching right now than CJ Stroud. My boy has what, almost 3,000 yards, only 5 interceptions, and how many touchdowns? 17, I think is what I read.
I think it's 17.
The only person I think is comparable to him is probably Tua.
Hmm. Offense, I would say yes, he is trying. If we did defense MVP, I'm going Max Crosby, man. He's been a demon, and he plays like 98% of the game. Like he don't take breaks, and that's every game. Head do the demon,
Well,
Max Crosby.
we all know MVP is never going to go to anybody other than a quarterback. They need to just change the name of the award, but that's for another
Oh,
topic and a whole nother conversation. So we'll catch you next time, guys. Appreciate y'all, and we'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.
Peace out.